I don't know if I want to go for max enemies on difficulty 5. We can play as the loud character, though we do get plus 50% more enemies and a lot of extra damage as well. Why don't we'll just random the weapon right here. Once we beat difficulty 5, we're going back to play on difficulty 3, I think, exclusively. Because difficulty 5, this shit's hard. I haven't gotten past, like, round 14, I feel like, on this. And I know Alexa went back and started playing difficulty 3 as well. Just because it's more fun to not have to play with, like, near perfection to win. So once we beat that, I think we'll go back to difficulty 2. We'll go for lifesteal. Yeah, we can rock a range. I haven't really done a range build in a while, so why don't we go... I think having a hub, because we have so much damage already, going for even more like higher fire rate weapons like the SMG, it's going to be a bit in our favor here. But I wanted to say, I did go and see a movie last night that really put in perspective, like when I first saw Black Adam, I came back from the theater and I thought, you know what? That was not half as bad as I thought it would be. And I actually, for a minute there, in my mind, I thought Black Adam is not that bad of a movie. It's not that bad. Then I went to see, my next movie was Black Panther. And I left the theater kind of thinking, like, definitely it was a better movie than Black Adam. It was better made, like, it was better writing, better characters, just more well-made. But I didn't enjoy it as much. And I was like, man, what if Black Adam is like the peak that I see for the end of the year? Now, last night, no spoilers, by the way, last night, I saw a movie called The Menu, which the trailers for it didn't really convince me. I saw a review of a friend of mine made on Twitter, and I was like, you know what, I'll go check out the movie. I think it was like the day after opening night. And I went to see it. And because the last two movies I saw were Black Panther and Black Adam, which were both like not good, like at all. Like Black Panther was fine, but it was very boring and very long, and half the movie was just like X character crying in front of the camera with like emotional music in the background. I honestly think, hey, there's some more extra enemies for you, that because I saw two very not great movies in a row, I don't know if The Menu was just that good or if that was a great palate cleanse to have. Because I left the theater for The Menu thinking like, damn, like it had some, flaws, but that was a good movie. I mean, like Anya Taylor-Joy has been in a lot of really good stuff. The Witch, she was in The Northman, one of probably my favorite movie of the year so far, still. And now she's in The Menu. I wasn't a big fan of the Netflix show she was in. I wasn't a huge fan of Queen's Gambit. I think it was called Queen's Gambit. I watched a couple episodes, didn't really hook me in, so I just kind of stopped watching. But I kind of want something better. We can start merging medical guns and just buying other guns. Hey, more enemies right there too. We have plus 60% enemies right now. Very nice. Hey, medical gun 2. You know what? Sure. We'll get medical gun 3 off the bat here. But if you have time, anyone in the YouTube comments or in the stream chat, I recommend The Menu. It's a very funny, like, horror thriller movie. I think that Barbarian has kind of set this standard of, like, horror and comedy, they work they are the two, it's the greatest genre pairing. A funny horror movie is, like, the most fun you'll have in a theater. And I was cracking up at The Menu. It was good. Like, Barbarian was funnier and I think a little bit, it's probably a better movie, but I was like having unexpected moments of like, holy shit. Like, I think Gillian Anderson's in the movie and she's like a food critic who goes to this island. I guess here's a minor spoiler for you guys, like very, very small, but the chef at the island has made this kind of like game where he's going to be, spoiler, killing the guests. And the food critic is trying to be all snobby, and when one of the characters does die, she convinces herself it's just part of the act of what's going on, and it's no big deal. It's just part of the showmanship. You wouldn't understand. You're not as good of a food critic as I am, or whatever. And it was like such a a genius character trait to have in the movie that it honestly, it caught me off guard, but she ended up being one of my favorites in the movie. I don't know. It was just great. I like going to theaters and then watching movies that actually have heart behind them instead of, the 60th Marvel or DC property. I can't look at another Marvel movie. I can't watch another one this year. I mean, it's going to be over in like, 2 months now? It's, 20, or it's December in like a couple weeks. I don't even think I'll go to, like, I've seen pretty much every Marvel movie besides like Thor 4 in theaters. I don't think I'm going to go and see Ant-Man. It looks like shit. The trailer is on the same visual quality as fucking Spy Kids. I don't know if you see the trailer for it, but it's like, it looks almost identical to how Spy Kids looked. Like, it's I'll show you after the this Brotato run on stream, but holy shit, dude, it looks terrible. Like, it looks really bad. I don't know how to explain it, but it's the equivalent of like radio pop for movies, I feel like now. But you know what? Whatever. Is that range damage? Sure, we can take. I'll go for max HP. We're kind of lacking on that, I think. Muscly dude? Nah, it's less range. It's good for melee builds, but not really feeling that right now. I'll buy another weapon here, though, for sure. What's going on, Marissa and Rainer? No, dude, you know what? And the thing is like, I've seen this sentiment played out a lot in the last year. That No Way Home or whatever, what was it? No Way Home was the 3 Spider-Man movie. I saw that opening night in theaters. I was very excited as a big fan of the Tobey Maguire and the Garfield movies, and even I like Tom Holland's a lot too. I was really excited to see them all come together, how they're going to do it, how they're going to make it work story-wise, and, the future of the universe. It was like painfully average was my takeaway. Like, the moment of seeing Andrew Garfield on screen for me, because he was my favorite Spider-Man, was very awesome, and like, I had a genuine, like, great moment of, like, that's so fucking cool to me. Everything past that moment, besides when, like, titular character dies and then, Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland is very sad about it, was just not very good, I would say. Wandering Bot is the GOAT when it comes to loud. Okay, if I see it again, I'll take it. I apologize. I wasn't really paying attention. I was talking about Spider-Man, of all things. Yeah, we can combine and buy. We'll go for a range build right now. But I left the theater, and I was just kind of... I think I'm Team Steve. I don't want the government to have control of my... of, like, my, I guess, ability to do good in this world. I feel like that would kind of suck. If you really want to help somebody, but government's like, no, sorry, they're not worth your time. Pretty fucked up. But it just wasn't like, it didn't last with me. I can honestly not name, I think, a single point of dialogue in the entire movie. Like, I'm trying my hardest to think of like a single line from No Way Home. And even like the shots that were memed, like when they were talking on top of the Liberty statue, whatever it's called. I forget the name of that as well, because even though it's an actual thing in real life. But they talked about like going to space, I think, or fighting space monsters. Genuinely, I can't think of a single line. Dude, even more enemies. Sure, we'll take it. I can't think of a single line from that. And I think that's a sign of like the movie was not very good. Now, here's a fun thing. I did see Doctor Strange 2 with one of my Discord mods, Julie. Back when that first came out, me and Julie's girlfriend and my girlfriend went to go see it together. It was a blast. Fun movie. It was not a good movie, but it might have been the most character the MCU will ever see going forward. And that's depressing. If they would have just let Raimi have more control over that movie, would have easily been #1 in the MCU by far. They brought on a different writer for the script, and it fucked everything up. Because everything Raimi had influence over was so fun, so charming, so full of life. And then the goddamn writing. Just like, you can't overlook it. And I want to say it's the best MCU, because I like Raimi. He's kind of hit or miss, but I like him more than I hate him as a director. And I think he had great ideas for it, but holy shit was that script just complete garbage. And the problem is, like, MCU fans don't like it because it's too different, and non-MCU fans hate it because the script is bad. Raimi got dealt a terrible deal, I would say. More armor, sure. Range damage? Yo, 12% damage. Circular Saw 3. How do I feel about that? I don't feel anything, I don't think. No need. I'm a fan of turrets in this game. I'll do this too. Alien Baby's pretty fun. I'll even take small magazine right now, sure. I don't know. Like, I think the reason that I get more excited for, like, unattached DC releases every year is just because right now they're not working towards anything bigger. They're kind of just, like, throwing shit at a wall. And I think that mentality allows for just more interesting choices to be made with the characters. Like, Black Adam was entertaining to me because they were able to take these very important DC people and just make them kind of, like, just funny. I don't know. Unserious, I guess, is the right word. They're able to do new things with those characters. Like, you don't really go into an MCU movie thinking, like, or, like, an important guy is going to die, right? You go into the movie and you think there's going to be, like, a fake out death of a side character. They're going to come back to life, you know, halfway through or whatever, et cetera, et cetera. Multiverse, all this crazy shit. You go into a DC movie, you don't know what the fuck they're going to pull. They could make Superman, like, a Martian. They do crazy things with that franchise. I like it. I really do. It's more exciting, I guess, to see. I'm going to scrap SMG for another lifesteal, I think. Just because I'm feeling a little goofy about it right now. Sure. And I'll even do this. I'll lock this in for next round. But I like when there's just... You're watching it and you're thinking, okay, well... Like, I'm going to put it in perspective. You watch Endgame, which is probably, you know, it's not on the better side of MCU films, but it's a culmination. And even with that movie, you go in knowing there's only going to be, like, at the very most, 2 important, like, deaths in the entire movie. You go into Black Adam, a standalone DC movie about, like, a hero that I'm sure less than half the population has heard about. You go into a movie like that, you don't know what they're going to do. Here's another spoiler for Black Adam in case anybody cares. They killed Dr. Fate. He's... Well, they didn't kill him. They killed Kent Nelson, who was like the helmet wearer. What the fuck what are you doing? That guy's so cool. He's like supposed to not die usually. I mean, he's he's a Lord of Order, for God's sake, in the DC like hierarchy. It's up and killed him. That, at least to me, that shows they're gonna take some interesting risks, and I like that. I really, really do. Any better weapons for us? I mean, you know what? Goodbye. We're seeing more shotguns than we are laser guns. That's why I'm not gonna say I enjoy Morbius. I haven't even seen Morbius yet, but that's why I enjoy Venom. That's why I enjoy Venom. You know what? Like, I will stand by the fact that Venom 1 and 2, I had a fun time with them. I thought they were not good, but they were so fun to watch. Even Venom 2, which was noticeably worse than Venom 1, oh god, we are so boned. We're boned, dude. We are boned. Difficulty is so hard. I was skipping a lot of armor upgrades there. That blows. That sucks. But you know what? We lost. We'll start another one for YouTube for next episode.